The manifesto of the Untouchable Act, as if you are the apex, because in this reality, power never requests a permit and no one just crowns the lion. He ascends through sheer presence, through a conviction that creates the ground he walks on. That is the Machiavellian absolute. Perception is not just a viewpoint, it is the architecture of reality. The masses do not follow righteousness. They follow strength. They follow certainty. So act as if you are untouchable. Move with the silent, heavy confidence of a man who knows his value and owes the world zero explanation. The truly powerful do not beg for attention. They simply radiate it. Every gesture you make, every silence you hold, every calculated glance must command the room without uttering a syllable. The weak are starved for validation. The strong manufacture it. When you breach the threshold of a room, your energy must narrate the story before your lips ever part. Your posture, your tone, your terrifying stillness, all must whisper, I am not here to compete. I am here to conquer. And remember this, the world bends only to certainty. Doubt is the scent of blood to a predator. If you desire to dominate, you must believe your own supremacy into existence. Never apologize for your magnitude. Own it, embody it, breathe it, because the second you do, others will follow your lead, willingly or not. Comment below, I am the one they cannot replace. Number 2, the psychology of superiority. Superiority is forged in the mind long before it materializes in the physical realm. The greatest titans of history didn't rise because destiny selected them. They rose because they selected themselves. Understand this principle. People obey confidence the way iron obeys the magnet. They are hypnotized by strength, by certainty, by a presence that refuses to flinch. When you move as if the throne is already yours, others unconsciously adjust to that truth. It is dark psychology in its purest form, the art of planting your authority into the subconscious of those around you. Your energy must carry a single, undeniable frequency. I am inevitable. You must become a mirror that reflects nothing but dominance. When they look at you, they should see a man who does not doubt, who does not hesitate, who does not scavenge for approval. You are the storm they cannot predict, in the silence they cannot ignore. Machiavelli stated it with cold precision. It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Fear is not cruelty. Fear is control. It is the understanding that to maintain respect, you must never be fully accessible. The powerful manufacture distance. They remain an enigma. Mystery is the fuel of fascination, and fascination is the currency of influence. The moment they think they have solved you, they cease to respect you. So give them just enough to admire, but never enough to grasp. Stay one move ahead. Always, your power resides in the vast unknown of your true nature. To act superior is not arrogance. It is strategy. Arrogance is a scream of insecurity. Superiority is a radiation. It is not loud. It is not boastful. It is calm, deliberate, and dangerous. The superior man does not chase validation. He generates it from the core. When you walk as if the earth is honored to bear your weight. When you speak, your words hold the density of gold. Because you speak with conviction, not noise. You do not react. You calculate. You do not explain. You command. That is how you become untouchable, by mastering your own psychology before the world even realizes the game has started. Now type it in the comments. Engrave it into your mind. I am inevitable. Number 3, the power of detachment. This is the crown jewel of the quiet folds. The moment you learn to feel everything yet be owned by nothing, you ascend beyond the herd. Most people are slaves to their own biology. They react. They overthink. They chase validation like junkies chasing a fix. But the superior man, the Machiavellian operator, controls emotion as a weapon, never as a weakness. He feels anger, but he does not leak it. He feels desire, but he does not chase it. He feels pain, but he alchemizes it into calculation. This is where your transformation ignites. When you learn to move like a shadow with a pulse, detached, calm, and utterly unpredictable. The detached man is lethal because he cannot be manipulated. You cannot control what you cannot move. Machiavelli taught that power belongs to those who can divorce their feelings from their objectives. Compassion without strategy is just weakness. Love without boundaries is merely leverage for others to use against you. To master detachment, you must stop fighting for peace and simply become it. When you detach, you cease reacting. You begin observing. You stop asking, why did they do this to me? And start analyzing, what does this reveal about their fragility? You stop being the prey and become the hunter. In every interaction, your goal is not emotional satisfaction, it is leverage. And when you no longer need anything from anyone, not their attention, not their approval, not even their affection, that is the precise moment they will start offering it to you. People are addicted to those who do not need them. It is the paradox that spins the world. Detachment makes you magnetic. You become the calm center of the chaos, the eye of the storm that everyone orbits. When you master your emotions, you master perception, and perception is the battlefield of power. Train your mind to remain glacial when others panic. Let them drown in their impulses while you rise in silence. You are the mountain, unshaken by wind, untouched by storms. Write it below. Let it burn into your identity. I own my emotions. Nothing owns me. Number 4, control the game, never play it. Power is not won by the loudest voice or the fastest hand. It is earned by the one who controls the board while pretending to merely be a player. The Machiavellian mind grasps this simple truth. People who chase power rarely keep it, but those who make others chase them, those are the ones who rule. Every move you make must be deliberate, strategic, and cloaked in the illusion of effortlessness. The moment they think they understand your pattern, shatter it. The moment they expect a reaction, give them a void. Power thrives in unpredictability. You must become the ghost in the machine, always present, never predictable. When you control the game, you manipulate perception, and perception is reality. Let others believe they hold the reins while their choices, their emotions, and their outcomes bend subtly to your architecture. This is the essence of dark psychology. Quiet influence, invisible strings. You do not force obedience. You invite it. You do not demand loyalty. You engineer it. You create an ecosystem where people want to serve your interests because it seems to align with their desires. That is the highest form of control, not through fear, but through psychological architecture. Machiavelli warned that those who show wear their cars invite betrayal, so never reveal your bon hand. Never explain your intentions until your victory is locked in. Mystery keeps you safe. Transparency makes you a target. Keep them guessing, keep them intrigued. When people cannot predict you, they cannot prepare for you. And when they cannot prepare for you, they cannot defeat you. Strategy isn't about reaction, it's about anticipation. You must think 5 moves ahead, always. And while others fight battles you have already won in your mind, you simply watch them burn out. The key is to appear calm, composed, and detached. Even when chaos erupts, your silence must be louder than their screams. Your restraint must terrify more than their aggression. Every move you make should serve a purpose, even your stillness. Remember this, kings do not argue. They observe, they decide, and they command. Never let them push you into their drama. That is how peasants fight. Your arena is psychological, not emotional. Take this mindset and engrave it into your bones. I control the game. I never play it. Number 5, silence, mystery, and psychological gravity. Power does not shout. It does not beg to be seen. True power is silent. It is a calm force that bends the world without lifting a finger. The greatest emperors, conquerors, and manipulators all understood this axiom. Silence creates tension, and tension creates control. When you speak too often, you leak power. When you explain yourself, you expose your intentions. But when you speak rarely, when your words are chosen like surgical instruments, people listen. Your silence becomes their obsession. They begin to fill it with their own imagination. And imagination is always more potent than the truth. Mystery is your armor. It is the shadow that makes your presence feel infinite. When people cannot define you, they fear you. They wonder what you know, what you are thinking, what you are planning, and in that wondering, they hand you control. Machiavelli wrote that men judge more by the eye than by the hand, meaning perception outweighs reality. You do not have to be unstoppable. You must simply appear untouchable. Your mystery becomes a gravitational field, pulling people toward you, making them orbit your aura without understanding why. This is psychological gravity, the silent magnetism of dominance. To build it, learn restraint. Most men vomit their thoughts because they crave connection or attention. But you must starve that instinct. You do not need to be understood. You need to be felt. You walk into a room in your stillness that has more than 1,000 desperate words. You make eye contact like a mirror, calm, unreadable, commanding. When others speak, you listen, but you never react immediately. And that pause, that moment of controlled silence, it breaks them. They start to question themselves, and is rushing to fill the void with nervous chatter. With weakness, you remain still, and in that stillness, you dominate. Mystery also demands contradiction. Do not be predictable. Be warm one moment, cold the next. Let people sense danger beneath your calm. Keep them intrigued, never comfortable. A man who is fully known loses power. A man who is partially understood becomes a legend. Even when you show emotion, let it be deliberate. Let your anger serve a purpose. Let your compassion be a calculated gift, not a reflex. The key is control over expression, so over presence, over narrative. Understand this. Silence is not absence. It is dominance without noise. It is the mind of a strategist disguised as serenity. It is the pause before the storm, the signal that you decide when chaos begins and ends. When you master this, you no longer chase attention. Attention bows to you. Now comment below. Let it echo through the shadows. My silence commands the room. Number 6, manipulate energy, dominate the room. When you walk into a room, understand this. Power is not a title. It is not a position. It is an energy. It is the invisible current that shifts the atmosphere the moment you enter. Most people walk in looking for approval, scanning faces, adjusting themselves to fit in. But the powerful, they make the room adjust to them. The truly dominant do not seek belonging. They redefine the environment. This is the art of energy manipulation, the ability to command attention, influence emotion, and control perception without saying a word. Your energy is your broadcast signal to the world. It tells people how to treat you before you even speak. A weak presence leaks uncertainty through posture, tone, nervous laughter, and restless eyes. But a powerful presence radiates quiet certainty. Every movement is economical, deliberate, and slow. There is no rush, no anxiety, no performance, just gravity. The kind that makes people lower their voices when you pass. Machiavelli would tell you, appear confident even when you are not, for confidence creates belief, and belief becomes reality. When you act as if you are the best, people start to treat you as if it is true. Not because they know, but because they feel it. The psychology behind this is simple. Humans mirror energy. If you project calm dominance, others will unconsciously sync to your frequency. They will soften their tone, hesitate to interrupt, and begin to defer to your unspoken authority. This is not arrogance. It is calibration. You are setting the tone. Your composure dictates the tempo of the room. Never compete for attention. Absorb it. The sun does not fight to be seen. It simply rises, and the world must acknowledge it. To master energy, you must master stillness. Every strong presence begins with control over breath, posture, and emotion. Your breath must be slow and deep, never shallow, never rushed. Your posture must speak of ownership, not aggression. Shoulders back, spine straight, gaze steady. And your emotions must be invisible armor. Not the absence of feeling, but the mastery of expression. Anger, excitement, fear, all must remain beneath the surface. The man who can control his energy controls the entire room. But remember, power isn't about constant dominance. It is about rhythm. The Machiavellian manipulates the tempo, alternating between intensity and calm to destabilize others. Speak softly when they expect force. Pause when they expect answers. Smile when they expect silence. Keep them guessing. People are slaves to predictability. Break their rhythm and you own their attention. The moment you become predictable, you lose psychological ground. Surprise keeps you superior. Presence also extends beyond the physical. Your reputation, the echo of your energy, must precede you. Build an aura of quiet capability. Don't brag about your power. Let stories circulate. Let your restraint create rumors. Let your mystery create mythology. The moment you need to prove yourself, you have already lost the upper hand. The powerful never explain. They demonstrate through subtle influence, through results that speak louder than declarations. Another secret, don't match the energy in the room. Control it. If the room is chaotic, stay calm. If it is tense, remain unfazed. If it is silent, let your words fall like thunder. This dissonance forces everyone else to calibrate to you. You become the center, the reference point. That is dominance, not by aggression, but by gravitational pull. Carve this into your mind and type it in the comments. I control the energy. I command the room. Number 7, war without weapons. The art of psychological warfare. Power does not always need an army. The most dangerous wars are fought without swords, without blood. They are fought in silence, in conversation, in perception. The battlefield is the mind, and the prize is control. Psychological warfare is the domain of the quiet folds. It is not about brute strength. It is about subtlety, precision, and a cold understanding of human nature. You win not by attacking directly, but by guiding others into traps of their own creation. That is real dominance. Not by force, but by foresight. Understand this. Every interaction is a negotiation for power. Every word exchanged, every gesture observed, every silence held, all are tactical weapons. Weak men fight with emotion. Strong men fight with manipulation. They know when to provoke, when to flatter, when to disappear. They know how to twist perception so that even truth bends around them. Machiavelli called it the appearance of virtue. You don't need to be good. You need to look good while doing what is necessary. The world rewards perception, not purity. The first rule of psychological warfare: never reveal your intentions. Once they know what you want, they can resist. Once they can predict you, they can neutralize you. Keep them confused, intrigued, uncertain. Uncertainty breeds submission. When people cannot read you, they fear disappointing you. When they don't understand your motives, they hesitate. And hesitation is your ally. Hesitation gives you control. You become the only one who seems sure, the only one who seems unshaken, and in chaos, certainty looks like leadership. The second rule: learn to weaponize empathy, not to feel it, but to use it. Understand people, their needs, fears, and insecurities better than they understand themselves. The mind that knows another's desires controls their behavior. Flattery is not empty praise, it is targeted influence. Feed people's egos strategically. Make them feel seen, but only in the way that serves your goal. Make them believe you value them, and they will hand you their loyalty. Machiavelli said, men are driven by two things, love or fear. The master of manipulation uses both. He makes people feel safe, yet scared to lose that safety. The third rule, never attack directly when you can corrode silently. Direct confrontation alerts the enemy, but influence, slow, invisible influence, changes them before they notice. Spread doubt, whisper truth mixed with lies. Plant small seeds that grow us into trees of confusion. When someone questions their own judgment, you have already won. The superior manipulator makes others fight themselves. They defend you even as you dismantle them. Psychological warfare is chess, not checkers. You must see 10 moves ahead, anticipate reactions, predict emotions, and build traps that feel like choices. Offer people freedom, but make sure every path leads to your outcome. That is Machiavellian mastery, the illusion of choice under the architecture of control. You must also understand the value of silence in battle. The one who speaks first often exposes himself. The one who answers every question reveals his mind. But the one who pauses, who measures his words, he owns the rhythm. Silence makes people project. They fill it with their insecurities, their assumptions, their need for validation, and you learn everything without revealing anything. Every second of silence is a blade against their mind. Type it in the comments like a ritual of dominance. I fight with mind, not emotion. I win without war. Number 8, the Iron Code: discipline, routine, and ruthless self-mastery. Power is not built in moments of motivation. It is forged in monotony. The great conquerors, the silent emperors of reality, they all share one trait: ruthless discipline. Not the kind that shouts, not the kind that flexes online, but the kind that bleeds quietly behind closed doors. You see, Machiavellian strength isn't just strategy, it is structure. You cannot dominate others if you cannot first dominate yourself. Every weakness within you is a hole in your armor. Every lack of discipline is a crack in your empire. Power begins when you stop negotiating with your excuses. You want control over your life? Then wake up every day as if the world owes you nothing, because it doesn't. The weak seek comfort. The strong seek control. The difference between the two is simple. One reacts, the other decides. Discipline is the art of deciding who you will be every day, without hesitation. While others wait for motivation, you move from mandate. You act not because you feel like it, but because it is who you are. You become the kind of man whose habits make emotion irrelevant. Routine is your fortress. Your daily systems protect you from chaos. Every morning ritual, every night of planning, every moment of focus, these are your silent wars against weakness. Machiavelli understood this deeply. Order breeds power. When your life runs like a machine, your mind stays free to think, to plan, to strike. You don't waste energy fighting distractions. You channel it into direction. The world belongs to those who can delay gratification, those who can suffer strategically today to own tomorrow. You must treat yourself as both the ruler and the subject. Command yourself with authority. When your mind says rest, answer with earn it. When it says later, answer with now. Each time you obey weakness, you reinforce submission. But each time you conquer it, you reinforce dominance. Discipline isn't punishment. It is freedom. It is the knowledge that nothing external can shake you because you have already conquered the internal. Power demands routine not because routine is exciting, but because it is predictable. And predictability creates results. The man who trains daily, body, mind, and spirit, becomes untouchable. His habits turn him into a force of nature. He doesn't chase energy, he manufactures it. He doesn't rely on mood, he relies on mastery. That is the Iron Code. Do what must be done, whether the fire burns or not. Self-mastery means knowing your triggers and strangling them before they control you. Cut off every weakness that slows your ascent. Too much comfort? Remove it. Too much distraction? Silence it. Too much validation? Deny it. You don't need noise, approval, or company. You need purpose. Every distraction is an assassin disguised as pleasure. Every indulgence is a delay in your evolution. Power belongs to the man who can walk alone, who can sit in silence without needing escape, who can work relentlessly without applause. And understand this, routine is not robotic. It is strategic. Your structure must serve your mission. Your mornings are sacred ground where warriors sharpen the mind before the day begins. Your nights are reflections of your progress, the audit of a ruler analyzing his empire. Write it below, not as a comment, but as a contract with your own future. My discipline is my dominion. Number 9, the laws of control, power, deception, and the psychology of influence. Control, the single word that separates kings from pawns, predators from prey. The world bows to those who control perception, emotion, and narrative. Power is never truly taken. It is given by those too blind to realize they are surrendering it. The Machiavellian man understands this deeply. He knows that true power is not about domination through force, but manipulation through finesse. The strongest rulers were not the loudest. They were the most patient, the most calculating, the most unreadable. To control others, you must first master the illusion of transparency. Let them believe they see the real you, while keeping your true motives locked away. Machiavelli taught that a ruler must appear virtuous, compassionate, loyal, and honest, while being ruthless beneath the surface. Because the masses crave morality, not truth. They want to believe in heroes, not strategists. So give them their illusion. Smile when you plan, praise when you plot. Keep your enemies close enough to study, but never close enough to strike first. Your weapon is not your strength. It is their belief in your harmlessness. Deception, when wielded with precision, becomes art. The art of making others think they are leading while they follow your design. People love control, so give them the illusion of it. Ask questions that make them feel wise. Compliment their insight. Let them think they have convinced you. Meanwhile, every decision bends quietly in your direction. That is the essence of influence, guiding others to your conclusion while letting them think it was theirs. The Machiavellian never demands obedience. He engineers it. The second law of control, own the frame. Every conversation, every argument, every interaction is a battle for framing reality. Whoever defines the meaning of an event owns the power. If someone insults you, redefine it. If they question you, turn it into amusement. Never defend yourself. Redirect. When they attack, stay calm. Let their emotion expose them. The more reactive they become, the more composed you appear. And in that contrast, the room decides who is truly dominant. Frame every moment as though you have already won. That is psychological command. Control also requires strategic emotion. The Machiavellian doesn't eliminate emotion, he weaponizes it. A flash of controlled anger can freeze a room. A single act of unexpected kindness can bind loyalty stronger than fear. You must understand emotion like a surgeon understands anatomy. Every reaction, every insecurity, every ego wound. Use empathy as your compass, not your cage. Know what people crave, validation, status, belonging, and use those cravings to build invisible chains. And then there is fear, the most misunderstood tool of power. Fear doesn't mean cruelty, it means respect enforced through unpredictability. The powerful man doesn't need to threaten. His silence is enough. The uncertainty of what you might do keeps people compliant. Never be fully predictable. Never be fully accessible. Familiarity breeds weakness. Distance breeds intrigue. Make your presence scarce but impactful. When you appear, the air should shift. Machiavelli once wrote that the wise ruler must learn how not to be good, not evil, but strategic. Because morality without strategy is suicide in a world ruled by perception. To control others, you must sometimes play roles. The saint, the ally, the fool, all masks worn by the same calculating mind. Be flexible, be fluid. The oak tree breaks in the storm. The serpent survives because it bends, it adapts, it strikes only when the time is right. Write it below. I control my world. Nothing moves without my design. Number 10, the final ascension, becoming untouchable. Untouchable. That is the final evolution, the state beyond doubt, beyond comparison, beyond reach. When you master yourself, your emotions, your presence, and your strategy, you no longer chase power, you become it. This is where all the laws of the quiet folds converge. Control, detachment, mystery, and relentless discipline. The untouchable man doesn't need validation, doesn't need recognition, doesn't need approval. He stands alone, carved from fire and silence. He knows his worth because he built it, brick by brutal brick. To become untouchable, you must first kill your dependence on everything external. Opinions, praise, relationships, distractions, all of them are chains. Every time you need something from the world, you hand it leverage over to you. So take it back. Starve the world of your dependence. The one who needs nothing cannot be threatened. When they try to manipulate you, they will fail because your happiness isn't for sale. When they try to intimidate you, they will realize fear doesn't live in your mind. You have burned weakness out of your system through trial, silence, and sacrifice. That is the true throne. The empire of inner control. The untouchable man doesn't seek to prove himself. He simply exists as proof. His energy does the speaking. His actions echo louder than words. He walks into a room not to impress, but to dominate reality through composure. He carries stillness like armor, power like gravity. His gaze, his posture, his aura all communicate one thing. I am inevitable. People sense it before he speaks. They respect it without understanding why. Because deep down, they recognize what they never had: absolute self-command. Machiavelli would say, a prince must learn to act according to necessity. The untouchable lives by that creed. He does what must be done, not what feels good, not what looks moral, but what is necessary. He moves through the world like a strategist, never emotional, always calculating. His compassion is controlled, his anger is disciplined, and his choices are final. That is why he wins where others waver. He doesn't need to be liked. He needs to be effective. Understand this. Being untouchable doesn't mean isolation. It means independence. You can walk among people, but you are not of them. You can lead, but never depend. You can love, but never kneel. You are both present and distant, engaged but detached. A paradox they can never decode. That is what keeps you powerful. They will try to imitate you, but imitation always falls short of authenticity. You are the blueprint they can't replicate. So rise now, not as a follower, not as a dreamer, but as the embodiment of controlled power. You have learned the art of silence, the precision of manipulation, the discipline of kings. You are no longer chasing the crown. You are the crown. Type it below for the last time. Seal your transformation in words that echo through every listener who dares to awaken. I am untouchable.